Welcome to the fourth edition of our UpLoad video magazine in 2024. Today, we accompany various missions across Europe. A lot of wind is being generated in Portugal. A fire caused a historic job in France. And to maintain the infrastructure in Germany during floods, we show what the Federal Civil Protection Organization, THW, needs our cranes for. So, here we go. First, we'd like to introduce an innovation that visitors to our customer days have already experienced live, the new self-assembly device for the telescopic boom of the LTM 1650-8.1. Here's Florian Brunner from Product Management to explain. Hi, Florian.
Hi, Martin.
Florian, what is this self-assembly device all about?
So the LTM 1650 usually drives on public roads with an axle load of 12 tons and a total weight of 96 tons. More and more frequently, however, complex driving licenses are required for this, or long detours have to be taken due to dilapidated bridges. There are even countries that do not allow such heavy vehicles on the road at all. To reduce the crane weight, it is common practice to dismantle the telescopic boom and transport it on a separate low loader. On the LTM 1650, for example, the crane weight can be reduced by 30 to 40 tons by dismantling the telescopic boom. The major disadvantage in practice is that a separate auxiliary crane is often required for this, which of course also has to be driven to the construction site first. This is exactly where our new self-assembly solution comes in.
And what does the new solution entail?
Martin, it's very simple. It essentially consists of three main components. Firstly, the lifting device, which is attached to the rear of the LTM 1650 crane and is used to lift the telescopic boom from the low loader. The hydraulic transport support on which the telescopic boom rests on the low loader during road travel. And the centerpiece for assembly and disassembly, our hydraulically operated pulley cart. This allows the telescopic boom to be pushed into the crane during assembly and pulled out on the low loader during dismantling. A major advantage is that the trolley cart and the transport support can be transported on a standard low loader, which can also be used for other transport purposes, such as transporting equipment or ballast.
That sounds pretty complicated.
Yes, Martin, but in reality it's not. Let's take a closer look at the assembly process. The LTM 1650 is supported on site on its front stabilizers and the rear assembly jacks. The slewing platform is then rotated 180 degrees to the rear, and the lorry with the telescopic boom is positioned directly behind the crane. The crane operator connects the hydraulic and electrical quick connectors and raises the telescopic boom using the lifting device. All functions are operated using the wireless remote control so that you always have everything directly in view. He then moves the hydraulic transport support apart to create clearance for the telescopic boom. He can now use the trolley cart to retract the telescopic boom into the slewing platform and then connect the telescopic boom to the slewing platform and luffing cylinder. Once all the connections have been made, he can detach the telescopic boom from the trolley cart, luff it up and remove the lifting device from the rear of the crane. Now all he has to do is attach the sliding beam box to the rear of the crane and he's done, all in self-assembly.
Brilliant, not so complicated after all.
No, it's quite simple. So simple in fact that the entire assembly and disassembly process can be carried out by one person alone. That's cost effective.
Great, thanks for the explanation, Florian.
You're welcome, Martin.
In April 2019, a piece of news shook the whole world. A major fire had destroyed large parts of the 800-year-old Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. A short time later, urgent reconstruction of the historic building began. And our mobile cranes were involved in the reconstruction of Notre Dame right from the outset.
It was a shocking piece of news, not just for us, but for all of France. We are talking about a monument of great national significance that had been destroyed. We've been on site since June 2022. The site itself presents a significant challenge for this project, as there are many different groups involved and a lot of work is going on simultaneously. Once we had positioned our cranes, this meant that we had less storage space available for the site. It's been a real challenge to find the best solution to avoid disrupting the project while ensuring everything is carried out safely, especially during assembly and disassembly and when adjusting the boom combination. This required an extremely high level of accuracy, especially when we're assembling the crossing tower and when the cross and rooster were installed. In technical terms, these lifts weren't any more challenging than what we typically handle, but because they were such symbolic moments, they attracted significant media attention. The site and our mission is not yet complete, but in a few years, we'll be able to look back on our work with pride.
The Paris Cathedral fire was a catastrophe that moved the world. Less symbolic, but no less tragic, are the environmental disasters that have increased in recent years. In Germany, the THW is then often called upon. In order to be well equipped in the event of flooding, the THW's bridge construction section has ordered 12 LTC mobile cranes, which are being distributed throughout Germany. Here's one of them in the paint shop. We accompanied two others on an exercise in Hallbergmoos, south of Munich Airport, during the construction of a temporary bridge.
We received a request from the municipality of Hallbergmoos to build a temporary bridge, since the existing bridge is dilapidated and in need of replacement. We'll be happy to meet this request because we're always on the lookout for training opportunities and have recently received two new LTC 1050-3.1s with rope extension booms here in Bavaria, one in Fürth and one in Freising. Thanks to their compact dimensions, as we've also seen here on this site, we can basically move the cranes to wherever we need them, support them, and they're tailor-made for our needs. We've been using the LTC 1050 for about 2 months now. We're absolutely delighted with it. It's compact and has everything we need. We don't have to pick up any extra weight. And with the rope extension system, we can telescope the boom very quickly and also complete all our hoists very rapidly, which of course is incredibly relevant for us, an emergency response organization. The telescopic cabin is a vital special feature of the crane for us, as it enables the crane operator to look down on the site from a height of up to 8 meters. The first step is to pre-assemble our bridge on the assembly track. It's made up of several prefabricated elements. They're connected with bolts. We use the two cranes to practice the same processes that we also need for much larger bridges, namely one crane on the left-hand side, one crane on the right side, and one hoist of the relevant elements. But we also have to rely on the muscle power of our helpers to assemble the various elements. The bridge weighs around 10 tons when assembled. Due to the conditions here, we're not able to hoist it into position in one go with our cranes. The LTC with Vario base can definitely demonstrate its outstanding features on constricted sites like this one in Hallbergmoos. And now we've positioned the cranes exactly so that we can support them perfectly so that they can carry the load. This will also be used frequently in the future. And this also simplifies operations for our crane operators because they simply don't have to do any calculations about what they can actually hoist. Vario base calculates it all for us.
We're now traveling on to Portugal. Here we accompanied our new narrow-gauge crawler crane, the LR 1700-1.0W, on its first job. After a long wait due to the weather, the new crane helped to install the impressive rotor star with its huge rotor blades on a wind turbine in a very short space of time.
We are here on a construction site in the Portuguese city of Sabucal. The construction site, or rather the wind farm, is called San Cornelio, and we are building a wind turbine for Enercon. We are using a Liebherr crane, the LR 1700-1.0W.
El motivo de la decisión de comprar la grúa
We opted for the LR 1700-1.0W with a narrow undercarriage because we mainly assemble wind turbines.
Mayormente es la de prestación de servicio montaje de molinos, de parques eólicos.
The narrow crawler undercarriage saves time when moving the crane from one construction site to another.
El traslado de una grúa de una plataforma a otra.
Thanks to the V-frame and the Vario tray, we need very little space for the entire job. Here we installed a wind turbine with a height of 120 meters, and the heaviest part was the generator with a total weight of 140 tons.
The difference between complete dismantling and a transfer on crawler tracks is huge. Sometimes we can complete the conversion in just 5 or 6 hours.
And that's it for today. I'm already looking forward to the next issue, with more exciting crane jobs and news from the world of Liebherr mobile and crawler cranes. See you soon.